Welcome to Miles High Takes. I'm your host, Michael Miles, and I swear I'm not high when I say that the Denver Nuggets and the Las Vegas Golden Knights have no chance of repeating as champions in their respective sports. Let me tell you why I say that. I say that because the Nuggets, I don't know. It's very hard for anyone to repeat as champions in any sport in their self-respective sport. Nuggets had an amazing year last year. They made the run. They knocked off some opponents. They didn't really have anyone that difficult to beat, honestly, last year. Jokic is a beast, one of the best centers in the league, if not the best. But, he can't keep doing it all by himself. And if you eliminate Jokic from scoring and he might be able to pass the ball, but everyone else is not even on the same category of him when it comes to winning the games. Without Jokic, you got nothing. Jamal Murray is a close second, but Jamal's kind of if and take this year. He's kind of had some off years and everything, or not off years, but some off games this year. And I'm going to tell you why and how I think everything is going to play out. First, starting with the NHL Championships for the Lord's Stanley Cup. Now, last year, the Las Vegas Knights had a great run. I don't think they stand a chance. They are playing against the Dallas Stars, who, in my opinion, is the best team in the West right now. Better than everyone. I think what's going to happen is that the Dallas Stars are going to come out and they're going to sweep the shit out of the Las Vegas Knights. It's, Dallas Stars are just that good. And that's why I don't think the Vegas Knights have any chance of winning Lord Stanley Cup this year. But I don't think that the Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup either. So let's go through a little quick rundown here of everything that's going to be happening here in the NHL playoffs. First, starting off, we already talked about it. The Dallas Stars are going to sweep the Vegas Knights. Also, we'll stay in the West here. You got Winnipeg versus the Colorado Avalanche. This one's going to be a tight one, a very tight game. I think Winnipeg's going to come out, win this one in 7. And then you also have the Canucks and the Predators. Canucks have just looked unstoppable this year. They have been one of the best teams in the NHL all year round. I think they just come out and they sweep the Predators. I mean, the Predators have kind of one of those teams that kind of, squeaked their way in toward the last month or so of the season. Canucks is going to just kind of sweep them and take them out there. Then you got the Oilers and the Kings. I think the Oilers will win that one in 6. Kings are still a very good team, but the Oilers, they're just too dominant, and nobody's going to stop them on that. And let's go over to the East. Well, actually, let's stay with the West here. So next after second round, you'll have the Wings or the Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. I think Dallas is going to beat them. I think the Oilers are going to upset the Canucks, and you're going to see the Stars and the Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. Now, let's head over to the East. First round, you got the Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's another one I see where the Panthers come out and sweep the Lightning. It's going to be a good rivalry, for the fans and everything with two Florida teams, but ultimately the Lightning is nowhere. They can't hold the fucking Panthers jockstrap right now. They're nowhere near as good as they are. Then you got the Bruins versus the Maple Leafs. Bruins will win that one in 7. That one's going to be a very tight, close game. Maple Leafs coming back to some of their, something we haven't seen in a while is good old-fashioned Canadian hockey, which, we're starting to kind of see that a little bit more with Vancouver and Edmonton and Toronto. So in Winnipeg, so I'm kind of happy to see that where we have more Canadian teams get in the playoffs at least, because for a while there, we weren't seeing very much of anything. Then you got the Rangers and the Capitals. Capitals just got into the playoffs on that final game. That's an easy sweep for the Rangers. Rangers are just dominant. Then you got the Panthers versus the Islanders. Not Panthers. Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to be taking on the Islanders, and it's going to be the Hurricanes sweeping them. So I got 2 sweeps there. Then you're going to get to the Panthers versus the Bruins. Like last year, I think the Bruins are going to blow it. I know the Bruins are a very good team, but they're not what they were last year, which could prove that they might be better this year in the playoffs. But I think Florida Panthers are still one of the best teams in the East that you're going to need to beat, and the Bruins will not be able to do that. Then you have the Rangers versus the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are going to be a little bit too much. Hurricanes and the Panthers in the East. So the Final Four for the Lord Stanley Cup is going to come down to the Dallas Stars versus the Edmonton Oilers, Florida Panthers versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Man, that's a pain in the ass when you got Florida Panthers and then you got the Carolina Hurricanes, because all I want to do is say Carolina Panthers. But I got to get over that. This is hockey. This isn't football. Get it straight. But I see Dallas beating Edmonton. I see Florida beating Carolina for the Dallas Stars versus the Florida Panthers in the Lord Stanley Cup Finals. Now, who's going to win that series, might you say? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's going to ultimately end up being the Florida Panthers beating the Dallas Stars for a Lord Stanley Cup. And I think they're going to pull it off within 7 games. Now, if you all think that you are right and I'm wrong, if you want to kind of compete and see where we line up in our predictions for the NHL playoffs, go to ESPN, go to Miles High Takes group, enter your NHL playoff bracket there, see what you could do against me. I think I'm going to be right in every single instance, but we shall see if you have what it takes to beat me. Now, let's go over to the NBA playoffs here. NBA playoffs, basketball, my favorite sport. Let's kind of go over this just a little bit. So, NBA playoffs, currently watching the Pelicans and the Kings. And ultimately, it really doesn't matter who wins this. It's going to be the Thunder sweeping the shit out of whoever the fuck it is. The Thunder are that good. Shea is a beast. And, man, this is going to be a great team for a long time. I even said it last year. Shea was great. It's too late. I need to go to sleep. Then we have the Clippers versus the Mavericks. And that one's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be Clippers coming out on top in 7 games. Then we have the Timberwolves and the Suns. I think this one's going to be the Timberwolves in 4. Timberwolves are going to sweep the Suns. Suns just don't have what it takes. I mean, Kevin Durant has not proven to be that great of an asset for the Suns. I don't know. There's just something about that team that's just not gelling. They're not jiving like they should. Lakers. Now, the Lakers to me are the worst team in the West out of all the teams. I think the Nuggets are just going to come out and spank them like they did last year. Easy sweep for the Nuggets to go out on top. Let's stick around with the West here. And then I have the Thunder sweeping the Clippers. That's right. 2 sweeps in a row for the Thunder. And then I have the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets in 7 games. I mean, Anthony Edwards is a beast. He reminds me a lot of Michael Jordan with his skills and his talents. He's so young, so athletic. The dude is just a fucking beast in the air when it comes to just wrecking the rim. Dude can make some awesome plays as well. You got him, you got Cat, you got Rudy. Rudy is one of the most defensive specialists in the game. Cat's a very great offensive-minded player. The Timberwolves just have more weapons than the Nuggets. I don't care if the Nuggets have more experience or not. The Timberwolves are going to beat them. And then when it comes down to the Thunder and the Timberwolves, it's going to be the Thunder beating the Timberwolves in a 7-game series. That one's going to be close. That one's going to be tight. Thunder are going to go to the NBA Finals. something they haven't been to in a long time. Now let's head over to the East. Boston Celtics. There's not really a whole lot to say about them. To me, I have them sweeping the Heat to go on to the second round. I have the Cavaliers beating the Magic in 7. Cavs and Magic, that's going to be a very tight-knit game. The Pacers, I have them upsetting the Bucks in a 7-game series. Giannis being hurt. You also have Doc Rivers, who let's take an honest-to-God's look at Doc Rivers' career as a coach. He always has these teams that's full of talented players from top to bottom, and he can never get the job done. Just can't do it. So I think the Pacers are going to come out, young team, beat the Bucks, and then who knows if Doc Rivers if Doc Rivers loses to the Pacers in the first round, if I were the Bucks, I'd be showing him the door and finding myself a new coach right then and there. Next, you have the Knicks versus the 76ers. That was a very good old school type of game series here, where, some of the old heads who used to love watching the Knicks, the 76ers go at it. I think this is going to be a great one for fans. I think the 76ers are going to stay in it pretty well, but ultimately it's going to be the Knicks coming out in 6 games. Much like the Thunder, I have the Cavaliers Let's go back a bit. I have the Celtics beating the Cavaliers in a 4-game sweep as well. Okay, I'm telling you, man, Celtics are just that good. They're going to get it done this year. I think so. And then I have the Knicks beating the Pacers in 6. Then when you get to the ultimate climax, the Celtics versus the Knicks. Knicks are having a great year, but I think the Celtics are going to make another sweep. They are going to go 12 games and be just fine and sweep the shit out of everyone. And then I think the Celtics are going to have, when they beat the Thunder, it's going to be bad. I think they're going to sweep the Thunder. And this might be the first time that we ever see the Boston Celtics or any team not lose a single game in the playoffs. I don't know if we've ever seen that from beginning to end, where one team does not lose a single game. I think it happens this year for the Boston Celtics. They're just too damn good. The Boston Celtics, they are, that's good. They have the most points. They average more points than anyone. Their 3-point shooting, second in the league. Their rebounds are second in the league. Their blocks, I think they're tied. Yeah, they are tied for first in the league. They're just unstoppable. I think the Thunder is the best team in the West. They'll prove it, but they just can't hold a candle to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, if they don't get it done this year, then they might need to seriously take a look at some personnel changes, because this should be the year to get it done, much like it was for the Bruins last year, and they blew it as well. So those are my picks. Those are my takes. If you think you have what it takes, like I said, go to ESPN.com, fill out your NBA, your NHL playoff brackets, join the Miles High Takes group, see what you got. What do you have to lose? Doesn't cost anything. It's easy to join. Let's see if you can beat me. I doubt you can, because I'm pretty damn good at this shit. And you'll find out why. Thanks so much for taking a watch here. I'll be back again soon with more picks and bragging rights when I get all of my shit picked correctly.